What's up, big dreamers? Katie Reines, your vegan registered dietitian, is in the kitchen. I have a master's degree. I'm so excited to be here for you. How to get all the nutrients you need on a vegan diet. The position of the Academy for Nutrition and Dietetics, their position paper states that all stages of the life cycle, whether you're an athlete, child, breastfeeding, pregnant, no condition out there requires any kind of animal products. So I'm very excited that you clicked on this video, and I'd also like to start out with this video with a little bit of mindset practice. There's nothing that we have to do, there's nothing that we should do. Let's wake up every single day and say thank you. I've worked in hospitals and I've seen people in a coma attached to like oxygen masks and have tube feedings down their throats, and I wake up every single day recognizing that the greatest wealth is health and that we get to learn more about this. We get to eat nourishing, delicious foods and try new things. Let's give ourselves time to learn how to do this, and starting out with this video is a great way to do that. And also hit me up on Instagram at vitamin.katie, and please subscribe to this channel. Click the little bell to make sure you get notified for all of my videos. So let's get to it. What are the nutrients of concern and how do we get them in? Be sure to stick it through to the end of this video. I'm not only going to be going over the 7 nutrients of concern I have, but I'm also going to be showing you some supplements I might recommend and some foods I have in the kitchen to give you a more practical view of how this is done. So let's go ahead and get started. So number 1, a vitamin B12 supplement is what I recommend. B12, not only do vegans need to take a B12 supplement necessarily, and it is okay even though it's mega doses of B12. B12 is a pretty complex vitamin, and when you're taking it in a multi, it might not be absorbed well. So it's okay to take it every single day, and that's what I recommend. And it's okay if there's a little bit in your multivitamin and in your almond milk and things like that. Since it is water soluble, our bodies are really good at excreting excess and making sure that you are taking in enough. Because yes, on a plant-based diet, that is the one essential nutrient that I do recommend we supplement. The second nutrient of concern I have is omega-3 fatty acids. And yes, this is across the board, not only vegans, but everybody should be making sure they're making intentional choices about getting in omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3 fatty acids are the precursor to the most abundant fatty acid in our brain, DHA. Omega-3 fatty acids are a cofactor in a lot of anti-inflammatory responses in our body, and they are so essential to making sure our heart is working well, our brain is working well, our blood lipid profile is in check. So I have vegan clients of mine who they have high triglycerides and high cholesterol, and they're like, Katie, I'm vegan, what's going on with this? Without taking in essential fatty acids from omega-3 fatty acids, our bodies are going to be overproducing the saturated fats and the unhealthy triglycerides, and we're not able to have that healthy blood lipid profile. On a plant-based diet, how do we do this? I highly recommend taking a plant-based EPA DHA supplement. These algae-derived supplements are so incredible, but you know, straight from the source, getting it in a whole food form is really adequate. The supplement is just for insurance, like your own peace of mind. Every single day, taking in 2 tablespoons of soaked chia seeds, freshly ground flax seeds, soaked walnuts, maybe a 1/4 cup, and hemp seeds. I love hemp seeds. Those 4 are really fantastic sources of omega-3 fatty acids. Also, dark leafy green vegetables are great sources of omega-3s as well. It's really important to eat our dark leafy greens. However, you're going to be needing to eat lots of leafy greens to get the same amount as you would from 2 tablespoons of hemp seeds. So making sure you're getting in those whole food forms of omega-3 fatty acids, letting our bodies be able to do the conversion from omega-3 into DHA and EPA, and as we decrease the unhealthy fats in our diet, like the meat products and dairy products and the cheeses and the milks, and even like the overconsumption of omega-6 fatty acids, so that'll be like your peanut oils, your olive oils. When we're eating a lower fat diet in general, our bodies are much more readily able to do this conversion. When we're eating so much fat, it's really the conversion rate is a lot less, and then that's why people are going to be needing to supplement with more omega-3s, because we want the ratio of omega-3s to be up there, you know what I mean? So yes, making sure that we are eating those ground flax seeds, hemp seeds, at least 2 tablespoons, you got it. Nutrient number 3 is vitamin D. Vitamin D is actually kind of a hormone. Our skin makes it from the sun, and depending on how fair you are, you may, you know, be able to convert and create your own vitamin D better than other people. So if you have really, really dark skin, it will definitely take a longer amount of sun exposure for you to create that vitamin D for yourself. For me, like, and for people about my skin color, in general, if you're super, you know, butt naked, broad daylight, middle of the day for at least like 15 to 20 minutes, that should be adequate to convert your hormones to make your own vitamin D. However, if you are overweight or obese, you're not going to be able to create your own vitamin D as well and be able to really absorb that from the skin, because the subcutaneous fat is going to get in the way. Even if it's super sunny outside, am I really butt naked spending at least 15 minutes in the broad daylight? No, I'm not. So I do recommend taking a vitamin D supplement every single day. 2,000 IUs is my go-by number to recommend for adults in general. Personally, I've experimented with upwards of 4,000 IUs, and it made me feel really sick. And vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin, so overdoing it, it's not as easy for us to excrete, so I don't recommend overdoing it. But however, to absorb it, it is important to combine it with a source of fat, making sure we're combining it with food when we take that supplement. Also, did you know that mushrooms, I love mushrooms. Mushrooms are unbelievably incredible magic foods. Mushrooms are actually able to create their own vitamin D when they're exposed to the sun. So eat your mushrooms as well. Also, orange juice and lots of almond milks and plant-based milks are fortified with vitamin D. Vitamin D plays a huge role in our bone health, okay? So it's so important. Speaking of bone health, that does bring me to number 4, calcium. If you're taking that vitamin D and if you're eating whole foods, plant-based, low in sodium. Sodium actually inhibits our ability to utilize calcium well. Canned and packaged foods, make sure there's no more than 300 milligrams of sodium. If we're eating a lot of phytonutrients, like grapes have been shown to increase calcium utilization. So eating a whole foods plant-based diet actually is really, like, obviously we do want to be intentional about taking in enough calcium, especially for people post-menopause, that kind of a thing. However, calcium isn't my number 1 nutrient of concern. All whole plant foods do contain a little bit of calcium. Even oranges have a little bit of calcium. The foods that I am intentional about getting in every single day, though, are things like kale, sesame seeds, tahini, almonds, okra, figs. Who doesn't love figs? These foods are all pretty decently high in calcium for plant foods. It's important that we're not taking in too much calcium. Studies have shown that supplementing with calcium is actually not the best idea.
Why do calcium supplements increase heart attack risk, but not calcium you get in your diet? Perhaps because when you take calcium pills, you get a spike of calcium in your bloodstream that you don't get just eating calcium-rich foods. Within hours of taking supplemental calcium, the calcium levels in the blood shoot up and can stay up as long as 8 hours. This evidently produces what's called a hypercoagulable state. Your blood clots more easily, which could increase the risk of clots in the heart and brain. And indeed, higher calcium blood levels are tied to higher heart attack and stroke rates, so the mechanism may be calcium supplements leading to unnaturally large, rapid, and sustained calcium levels in the blood, which can have a variety of potentially problematic effects.
Calcium is a mineral that, you know, we can have calcium oxalate kidney stones and things that get created in our bodies. It's really good to know what the whole food sources are so that we can search for those and look for those and see what fun ways we can incorporate those into our daily life. Lots of leafy greens are a great source of calcium. However, spinach does have calcium, but it has oxalates in there as well, and oxalates prevent absorption of calcium. A lot of supplements out there now actually have the nutrients that we need from food. They freeze dry these foods and it's like a whole food instead of a synthetic form of the vitamin, which is so much better. There's so many coenzymes and colors and cofactors and things that have yet to be discovered in the whole food that we eat that can never compare to a synthetic form of the vitamin. You're going to have great bones and great hair, skin, and nails. And one way that I know that I'm getting enough calcium, I may not meet my calcium needs every single day. My thumbnails are like strong as freaking, like, my nails grow so long, and like I actually just cut, I shouldn't have cut them before this video, but like as you can see, my thumbnails, can you see that? My nails and my hair and stuff are so strong that I'm like, there's no way I'm not getting enough calcium. That's something to look for if you're feeling like your hair and your nails are really brittle. Maybe it's about time you really up the greens in your life, okay? Also, we really do not need milk ever. No. Don't be thinking you need calcium from milk or milk for calcium. That's just not a thing that is needed ever. Highly recommend, if you haven't already stopped drinking milk or eating dairy products, this is your sign. This video, make a commitment to yourself right now. Say, I am worthy of not drinking milk and not being afraid of not getting enough calcium. Number 5 nutrient of concern is iron. Oh no, Katie, I'm low in iron. I am anemic. Usually my females out there who have a menstrual cycle, did you know that females require twice as much iron as men? And guys out there, anybody who's working out, anybody who needs a good blood flow, which is literally everybody, make sure you're getting your iron from plants. Animal-based iron, heme iron, is really, really inflammatory. It's a pro-oxidant, which means that it causes a lot of inflammation, and overdoing it, our bodies aren't very good at dealing with it, and it can cause some issues.
The avoidance of heme iron may be one of the key elements of plant-based protection against metabolic syndrome, may also be beneficial in lowering heart disease risk. If you just look at iron intake from meat, it's associated with significantly higher risk for heart disease. This is thought to be because iron can act as a pro-oxidant, contributing to the development of atherosclerosis by oxidizing cholesterol with free radicals. The risk has been quantified as a 27% increase in coronary heart disease risk for every 1 milligram of heme iron consumed daily.
Great plant-based iron sources include beans and greens. So beans like black beans, pinto beans, lentils, I love lentils. Quinoa is a great whole grain that happens to be really a great source of iron. And great greens to get in your iron, things like spinach, yes, kale, yes, anything really, really dark green. And I do recommend combining with a source of vitamin C. So combining with lemon juice, oranges, even broccoli has vitamin C, red bell peppers. This combination really ups your iron absorption because vitamin C is a cofactor for making that conversion of non-heme plant-based iron into heme iron that our bodies use. Also, this is so great that we get iron from plants, making sure the iron that we're taking in is non-heme, so that any kind of excess iron we're taking in, our bodies are really good at excreting and taking care of, and it's not causing any inflammation or heart issues or anything like that. Also, for my ladies on a menstrual cycle, I will recommend right off the bat Mega Food Blood Builder supplement. I recommend this to pregnant women. This is a great whole food vitamin, whole food supplement. It has folate, it has vitamin B12 in it has beetroot, iron, vitamin C, and the list of ingredients, it's like from broccoli, you know what I mean? Like, I really trust this brand, and I feel like when I'm on my menstrual cycle, it's good to pop one of these if we're feeling like we're losing a lot of blood and we're feeling really weak and fatigued and like, what the heck? It's good to make sure our iron is on fleek. Don't worry too much about it. Just make sure to be intentional that you are getting in beans and greens every day. and a source of vitamin C, which across the board, you know, like it's good to have a piece of fruit. Number 6, this trace mineral iodine. So iodine actually is really important for thyroid health and thyroid function, thyroid hormones. This has to do with our metabolism, and it's pretty overlooked, I feel like, but iodine is certainly essential, and people take it in the form of salt, because salt, there was this whole thing where salt had to be iodized. We don't want to be relying on salt to get in our iodine, okay? So I recommend a whole food. What is a whole food that naturally contains iodine? I use this kelp shaker. I only take in like 1/4 of a teaspoon to like 1/2 teaspoon of the stuff. So in just 1 teaspoon of this, it contains 970% of our daily need for iodine. So this is really, really concentrated source. Sea vegetables are really awesome. They're really dense source of minerals. So other sea vegetables like nori, like the seaweed that our sushi is wrapped in, nori is really great. Dulse is another good. I used to have dulse shakers, but it's not like you're pouring this stuff in your mouth. This is really just a garnish, like instead of using salt. So this is what I do for iodine, and I recommend that you try it out. And also, if you don't like the little like kelpy flavor, or if you're worried that you're not gonna like it, or you don't even want to do this at all, most whole food multivitamins do contain iodine in there, and you only need a little bit, so don't worry too much about it. And the last nutrient of concern I have for you all is water. So eating a whole foods plant-based diet, a vegan diet, we're going to be eating a lot more fiber. And of course, yes, fiber. This is like everyone in America is constipated and depressed and stressed out. Did you know that our microbiota, our gut bacteria, not only does it have to do with our digestion, our GI tract is an open vessel from our mouth to our butthole, and it's exposed to the outside world, and there's a lot of immune cells and immune responses that are going to be occurring in our gut to help protect ourselves. So it's so essential to keep our gut bacteria in check and happy and healthy, making sure that there's fiber going through and feeding that good gut bacteria, so that our immune cells aren't tripping out and leading to any kind of autoimmune condition, any kind of inflammation. And if we're having acne on our forehead, that in Chinese medicine is supposedly shown to be related to this inflammation in our gut. Also, you know, of course, if we're having diarrhea or constipation, bloating. And with why I want to recommend water is because we need water. Our colon, it really is going to be absorbing a lot of water and letting our bowels come out like nice and smooth. And if you're not drinking enough water, it's gonna be like trying to go down a dry water slide. You're gonna be like, like our crap has to have some kind of lubrication so that we can lubricate the GI tract so that it can easily flow through, and we're not feeling super bloated and gassy and if we are feeling super bloated and gassy, that's okay. That happens for beginners a lot. People who aren't eating too many beans and too many vegetables don't have the microbiota that's really good at breaking it down quite yet. So we might be feeling a lot of rumbling, a lot of gas, a lot of bloating for the first couple weeks or so. Even constipation, eating more fiber, yes, maybe because we're not drinking enough water, maybe because our microbiota hasn't built up yet. And I do recommend taking a probiotic, maybe 50 billion multi-spectrum probiotic strain would be a really good idea in the morning, just to like set up yourself right. And even this 50 billion microbiotic like multi-spectrum strain, that's like a drop in the swimming pool when you're taking it in, because our gut is a long GI tract, and like you're taking in this little capsule that, yeah, it's like really the only way to really take care of our gut is to feed the bacteria with fiber. And yes, making sure we're drinking enough water. And the way to drink enough water, I recommend about 1 cup to 2 cups in between meals, about at least 5 to 10 minutes before each meal, because we don't want to be diluting our digestive juices, our digestive enzymes. So our stomach does contain hydrochloric acid, and if we're flooding water like down the tubes, right, like during our meal, it may dilute some digestive juices and we won't be digesting things as well as we could be. But in the beginning, if you are experiencing a lot of uncomfortable bloating and gas, yeah, definitely taking a probiotic and maybe even taking a digestive enzyme supplement to help. And people who are always eating on the go, always eating too quickly, people tend to, you know, just this day and age, like being on the go, which I don't recommend. It's really it's so nice to really savor our food and think about like, what do I love about this meal right now? What do I love about my life right now? Like, thank you to everybody who took the time to put this meal together. Like, it's crazy. Sorry, just a little side note. But taking digestive enzymes can just help a little bit as we're transitioning to eating a lot more fiber and a lot more plant foods in the beginning. So that's just throwing that out there. People think that yogurt is such a great source of probiotics. My favorite yogurt brand is Lava. So Lava sponsored one of the retreats that I chefed at. And literally, like, I had a girl come up to me and she was like, Katie, I haven't taken a crap in so long. Like, your food totally healed me. And I really want to give, of course, I'm gonna give myself credit. Like, I do provide healing cuisine at these retreats. And I also want to give credit to the Lava probiotic yogurt. Lava is peely nut based. They don't use any added sugars. And yes, of course, it's 100% plant-based, and it's 50 billion strains of probiotics, which is really, really nice. So this is the supplement that I've been using for a while. I'm also totally, like I said, not against a whole food supplement. A whole food multivitamin is fantastic. This complement is B12, D3, and DHA and EPA. Again, not sponsored. It's just cool that this happens to contain the 3 main nutrients of concern that I have for vegans and vegetarians. So this, I just keep it in the fridge, give it a good shake, and spray it, and I can fortify my own food. And it just has kind of like a lemony flavor. Ingredients, pretty simple. Like, I'm about it, okay? Also, simple tips to get in all of the nutrients of concern. Here I have a meal prep that I prepped for myself. This happens to have like a handful of mixed greens on the bottom, a cup of quinoa, and when I made this quinoa, I just grated some ginger. No, I grated some garlic in there. Ginger would be good too. I love ginger, but I didn't have any ginger. I grated some garlic in there, and I actually poured in some salsa in the pot, so I made like a little red quinoa. And this has 1 sweet potato boiled, and then I also boiled some black beans. If you're boiling black beans, make sure to soak them overnight and then boil them. It takes a while, so I am thinking about investing in an Instant Pot, something like that, or you could use canned beans. That's totally fine. It's fun to boil our own because, like, I like, again, to mix it with some garlic, some onions, some spices. So I've got a cup of quinoa, about half a cup of black beans, a half a cup of broccoli. Just I threw some like pre-chopped broccoli florets. I just bought the pre-chopped ones from Trader Joe's. And then this has about a tablespoon of tahini, a tablespoon of sunflower seeds. It has a drizzle. I just put a little bit of nutritional yeast. So nutritional yeast also has a good source of B12, and it has like a really nice cheesy flavor to it. And I put my kelp flakes on here, just like a dash. What this is missing, I ran out of hemp seeds, people. This needs a source of omega-3s. This also needs a squeeze of lime or some more, like, there is good vitamin C in broccoli, like I said, but I think it'd be better absorbable to get my iron if this had like a chopped up tomato or some, or if I had for a snack, if I had like an orange on the side. So I will probably eat a piece of fruit with this, and making big batches of quinoa and rice and potatoes and having that in the fridge so that I can throw something like this together is really nice. There is one more nutrient of concern that I do want to point out, and it is compassion. Compassion is definitely a nutrient. It is okay, 100% okay to make mistakes. It is so okay to have compassion for ourselves and have compassion to the planet. Recognizing that we're getting to do this, we're taking care of ourselves, we're taking care of this world and the animals and everything by making this decision, and noticing every single day, putting some compassion on our plates, putting some compassion in our minds and putting it out there is like so necessary to live a happy and healthy vegan lifestyle. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for dedicating time and energy to your health to learn how to go about a healthy, whole foods, plant-based vegan diet. You are saving the world. You are a superhero. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Leave your comments and questions down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Whatever questions or concerns you have, hit me up on Instagram at vitamin.katie, K-A-T-I-E. Leave me a DM, and definitely hit the bell. Make sure to hit that bell to get notified for all of my future videos. I am so, so, so excited for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Take a deep breath. You are amazing. Wishing you a beautiful, wonderful, incredible life. Have a wonderful day.